Alright, hello everybody. This will be a redo of chapter 3B, or of episode 6, because I checked the audio quality and it's a little less than par, so better redo everything, right, for smoother viewing pleasure for everybody. So anyway, in chapter 3-7, last we left off, let's open this little here. Last we left off for chapter 3, is that, as soon as I get my pen, there we go. So we covered verbs, right? Verbs were the most important part that we learned in chapter 3. So what we should be covering here is how to use place, as well as aspects of time, right? So aspects of time means yesterday, tomorrow, and so forth, right? And also we'll learn a little shortcut we can use with verbs and we can use a little shortcut with verbs and adjectives, right? So without further ado, let's just jump right in. I actually want to keep that tab. Alright. So, as usual, we'll have the Japanese people reading first.
あのギターは誰のですか？マナさんのです。マナさんはギターを弾きますか？はい、弾きます。
Alright, so immediately we actually hit a new grammar. We'll talk about that in just a wee bit. Alright, so, here it goes. あのギターは誰のですか? So, where's the pen not working? Oh, Epic Pen is actually not launched. There we go. So, あのギターは誰のですか? Right? So, this here will bring us a new grammar point that I will talk about in just a wee bit. Right? So, for now, let's just add this. 誰のギター? Right? So, あのギターは誰のギターですか? So, it's like, whose guitar is that guitar? Right? Mana-san no desu, right? It belongs to Mana. Mana-san wa gitar hikimasu ka? So guitar o hikimasu. So we've learned verbs in the last session, right? In the 5th episode. So guitar o hikimasu means to play the guitar. So when you add a ka, you're asking, do you play the guitar? Right? But remember, because we're talking about Mana-san, we're not talking about you anymore. To say, does Mana, right? And do becomes does. Okay? And then, hai hikimasu, yes, he plays. Right? Full stop. Okay. So what is this little no here, right? So this is what we're going to cover right now. So over here, right? We can shorten things by with a little no particle, right? So this is what happens right here. When we have two nouns, right? We can remove the second noun and just add one, right? For example, so what the second noun refers to in the noun phrase is you can omit it, right? Because no has a possessive meaning. So when the second noun is a person, it cannot be omitted. Okay, this is a key point here, right? Because for example, here it says Tanaka sensei wa watashi no sensei desu, right? Let's just say Tanaka's a man, so Mr. Tanaka's my teacher, right? If you say Tanaka sensei wa watashi no desu, you're saying that Mr. Tanaka is mine, and you are referring to him as an object, right? So we don't want that right now. We're not saying this. I own this person, right? This is not what we're going for right now. Okay, so that's a big X. So what happens here is, let's look at this sample sentence here. その自転車は誰の自転車ですか? So we know 自転車 means bicycle, right? 自転車 or bicycle. So その自転車は誰の自転車ですか? Whose bicycle is that? Bicycle. Right? So whose bicycle is that bicycle, right? Because if we do direct translation, there's a that bicycle and there's a whose bicycle, right? Because dare means who. right? So we can, in English, right, we never say whose bicycle is that bicycle. In English, we just basically go, whose bicycle is that, right? And we will ask this in English phrases. This is how we ask, whose bicycle is that? And as you point to it, right? So in Japanese, we do the same thing. We omit the second bicycle because we understand. So we can say, その自転車は誰のですか? Full stop. Right? Oh, whose bicycle is that? And this brings us that meaning straight away. Now let's look at the response, right? So here, this was a question, and now we have an answer here. So, その自転車は私の自転車です. Right? That bicycle is my bicycle because 私 means I, and no means it belongs to me. So 私の自転車 means my bicycle. Right? So この自転車は私の自転車です. And then, so you can shorten this to say, この自転車は私のです. This bicycle is mine. And full stop. Right? That's it. This bicycle is mine. Simple, plain. And then, here's the second sentence, right? これはマナさんのではありません. See, we don't have to say マナさんの自転車ではありません. We can also shorten it to マナさんのではありません. So there's going to be the question, when can we omit the second noun, right? So in this case, in this entire conversation, so let's have a blue color. Oops, let's have a blue color. So in this entire conversation here, you see that we are already we are already talking about the let me just read that. We are all already talking about the bicycle, 自転車, right? This is the main topic of the sentence. So in this case, we don't even have to repeat it. We can just emit it straight away. So same thing applies here to the response. Because it's a question response and we are still talking about the bicycle, we can just say, 私のです, We can even just say, 私のです, and people will understand because the topic is about the bicycle. And the same way, we can just use the sentence as it is. これはマナさんのではありません. The reason why is because we are already talking about the bicycle. Now, how does this play into the sentence we just read? Excuse me. So the sentence we just read, あのギターは誰のですか? Right? Whose guitar is that? So usually we would say 誰の ギターですか? Right? So in this case, it's already implying that we have a guitar here. So あのギターは誰のギターですか? So it shortens the sentence from, it should be whose guitar is the guitar, right? And then we simplify it to whose guitar is that, alright? So that's basically how we use the no particle to shortcut things for us, right? And later on, we'll also cover about how we can do the same thing for adjectives. Anyway, let's move on to the next passage. So we have a very short passage here.
私たちは先週の土曜日にパーティーをしました。マナさんはパーティーでギターを弾きました。そしてピアノも弾きました。
Alright, so let's just go right into it. So 私たち, right? So this tachi here is to turn things into a plural, right? So this means so watashi means I, and the plural of I means we. Okay? So 私たちは先週, I think I talked about this the last session. 先週 means last week, right? 土曜日 means Saturday. So you can see the calendar here, it's highlighted 土曜日, right? にパーティーをしました. Now, I believe there's a lot of grammar points, so let me just grab that up real quick. That's not what's supposed to happen. That is also not what's supposed to happen. Okay, let's see. 土曜日に Yeah, here. So we'll talk about it at the end of it. Alright, and then, マナさんはパーティーでギターを弾きました. So we'll talk about the day particle as well. So we have 2 points so far. そしてピアノも弾きました. Alright, have we learned the mole particle yet? Now, I'm pretty sure we've learned the mole particle last week. So, piano, mo, hiki. Sorry. Actually, sorry, the mole particle is also new as well. So, we have three things to talk about. First is this ni particle here, the de particle, and the mole particle, right? So, let's go through them one by one. Now, let's talk about the ni particle first, right? The ni particle okay, so we've learned the wa particle, right? Which is the topic marker. We've also talked about the mo particle, which means also, right? We've had the to particle, which means and. Now we also learned the o particle, which is for verbs, right? Now, when we have verbs on, we're gonna have a few different particles that we can say complement the verb. So right now we're gonna learn the ni particle, and this ni particle, the first function that we're gonna learn of the ni particle is that it helps to tell you when a verb takes place. Okay? So this is what the ni particle does. The particle ni indicates the time at which an action took place. Alright, this is the highlight of this, right? So now there's a soft rule for this. Time words such as o'clock, minutes, days of the week, months, and dates have ni after them, followed by a verb. And then words whose meanings are relative do not use the particle. So what do we mean by relative? Okay, so for now, what they mean is if we use o'clock, right? O'clock is ji, which is ji, right? We have minutes, which is fun. We have days of the week, which is this table. We have months, which is 1月, 2月, and so forth. We have dates. For example, reverse order. 1st of February, for example. 1日, 2月, and so forth. These are specific dates, and they will require the ni particle. So, what do we mean by time words that are relative? Relative means today, tomorrow, yesterday, and so forth, right? Next week, last week. All these are relative because when I say last week, tomorrow it could mean 2 weeks ago, for example, all these kind of things. So these are what we call relative time nouns, right? So what the key importance right now is that the ni particle is used when this is specific, okay? So I believe we've covered this before. 月曜日、火曜日、水曜日、木曜日、金曜日、土曜日、日曜日, right? This refers to Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And then 何曜日, which means what day of the week. Okay? So, this, if you haven't remembered it or I've never taught this before, then this is just something you have to memorize by your own, right? There's no shortcut to this. So let's have a quick look at this one, right? Just one sample sentence over here. 私は、日曜日にバドミントンをします。So you see, 日曜日 is a time-specific verb. So, 日曜日にバドミントンをします。So, if we just look at the sentence as this is, 私はバドミントンをします. Say, I play badminton. Right? This is what it says. I play badminton. Right? This is what the sentence means. 私はバドミントンをします. Now we say, I play badminton on Sundays. Then here it becomes, then we remove this bit here. Oops, shoot, that's not the right one. That's not the right one. Where's the eraser? There we go. Right? So then we have here, I play badminton on Sundays because now we have 日曜日, right? This specifies that it's on a Sunday. All right. So that's the first grammar point we're going to survive. We're going to go through right now. So now look at this. 私たちは先週の土曜日. Oh, so you're going to say, hey, this 先週 means last week. Why are we using the ni particle? Now, if I just say last week on its own, this is relative, right? Because we're just saying, oh, it's last week. Could be any day of the week. But now we have 先週の土曜日. It means last Saturday. In this case here, this is being very specific. Which Saturday? It's not this coming Saturday. It's not 2 Saturdays ago. It's exactly last Saturday. So this gives you a specific time. So this is specific. Right? So remember, always look at the second word first. The word right before the ni particle. So 土曜日にパーティーをしました. Right? So remember, the ni particle tells us when it happens. So we had a party. パーティーをしました. We had a party. Right? And so the question is, when did you have a party? Right? The answer is, we had a party on last Saturday. Right? And this sentence here explains that. 私たちは先週の土曜日. Right? This is the specific time. Hey, we did this last Saturday. にパーティーをしました. Okay? So then we go to the second sentence here. マナさんはパーティーでギターを弾きましたか? 弾きました, right? So as we learn, ni particle, which does when an action took place, the de particle that we're going to learn is where action takes place. Okay? Key point is de particle is for where. So, I will bring it up later, don't worry. But for now, so, just as the ni particle says, hey, it happened on this date. Now, the de particle is saying, hey, it happened here. Right? What is the action that happened? Gita o hikimashita. Played the guitar. Right? Then the question will be, where? At the party. Right? So, Mana-san wa party de guitar o hikimashita. Mana played the guitar at the party. So, party de. Right? そして、ピアノも弾きました. I believe we've learned the mo particle, which means also. Right? So, ピアノも弾きました means Mana also played the piano. Now, I'll cover them both. Let's stick them up right now. So the first introduction we're going to have is the de particle. And then afterward was the mo particle. Alright. So, oops. Oh, I'm on the... Why does Epic Pen close like that? Okay. So, right? Like I said, the de particle just marks the location where an action is performed, right? So the de particle, its simple function is to say where. Alright? So we've covered that already. Now it's this one. So we're talking about this one first, okay? So the mo particle, if we use it with two different nouns, we're saying that the same person used it. Right? So what happened in our sentence was that Mana. Sorry. Actually, let's just pull the previous sentence up here. Right? Look here. It says, Mana patte guitar hikimashita. So, 1. Played the guitar. Right? And 2. Played piano. Now, both these actions were done by Mana. Yeah, were done by Mana. Right? Mana did both of these actions. So we would say Mana. Mana-san, right? Wa and then sentence 1. So let me actually just make it proper. So the sentence will look like this. Mana-san wa gita o 弾きました right? So that's sentence 1. Sentence 2 will be Mana-san mo Mana-san wa sorry, this should be piano. No mo I am making silly mistakes. Ikimashita. So what does this do here? Now, what is important is to focus on this second half of the box here. We're saying that Mana-san plays the guitar, so that's the first action. Now we're saying he also plays the piano. That's why we have the mo here, right? Now you're gonna ask, what if we put the mo here? We'll talk about that in a bit. Right now, what we're trying to focus is, if it's the same guy doing two different actions, doing two different actions. In the second sentence, we can use the mo particle to replace the o particle, right? And this means that he is also doing a second action. All right. Now, if we put the mo particle here, it has a different meaning, and so we can't use the sample sentence. We actually have to use a different one. For example, let's just say, we say Mana-san wa gita o ikimasu. Why am I making mistakes? Ikimasu, right? We're saying that Mana plays the guitar. Now, we can also say, let's say Tanaka, right? Tanaka. What's happening to my... Oh, shoot. Let's say Tanaka-san mo gita o ikimasu. Now, so what's the difference between both of these sentences, right? Now, the focus is on two different halves. Here, we're focusing on the second half of the sentence because it's two different actions done by the same person, right? Where is it two different actions? Because one is playing guitar. So here is guitar. Then the second is piano. So these are two different actions to play them. They're two different actions, right? So we use the mo particle replacing the o because we're talking about the same person doing two different actions. However, in this case here on the top, right, we have the same action. They both play guitar. But now we have two different people. We have Mana, we have Tanaka. When two different people are doing the same action, right, that's where the mo particle comes into place, right? So, now, just remember, if the mo particle is in the beginning, we're talking that multiple people can do the action, or are doing the action. If we put the mo particle at the action, we're talking about the same guy doing different actions. So just remember, okay, mo at if mo is with a verb, same person, different action. If mo is with a noun, right, then it's different person, same action. Right? So this is for the second half of the sentence, and this is the first half of the second sentence. All right? Perfect. Now, we shall move on to 9.
あなたもギターを弾きましたか？いいえ、弾きませんでした。あなたは何をしましたか？日本の歌を歌いました。
Okay, so あなたも ギターを弾きましたか? So as we covered before, right? The mo here, because it's in the first half, because it's in the first half, right? Now we're saying, hey, do you also play the guitar, right? Mo, because it's in the first half. So do you also play guitar? And Yamada says, いえ、弾きませんでした. Saying, no, I don't play the guitar, right? So Yamada asks, あなたは何をしましたか? So, 何をします? Nani, right? Is a question word or for verbs. Sorry, it's a question word meaning what, right? So nani o shimasu would mean what did you do? If it's just nani, it means what, looking for nouns. Okay? I gotta help myself. Now, あなたは何をしましたか? So what did you do? And then Yamada says, 日本の歌を歌いました. So, 歌 means song. 歌う, alright? 歌います is to sing. So, I sang a song. 日本の歌, I sang a Japanese song. Alright, so this page is a bit simple. There is no new grammar, no nothing. Then we go to the next text.
どこでパーティーをしましたか? 食堂でしました。パーティーは何時頃終わりましたか? 10時頃終わりました。
Perfect. Alright. So, going straight into it, right? Where's the pen over? There you go. So remember, de was a particle noting that this is where the action takes place. So, party o shimasu means party happened, right? Shimashita. So it's a question mark with a past tense. So, doko is our question word for where. Doko. Okay? So, doko de. So, where did this happen? The de particle is saying, hey, this action here, where did it take place? And then, shokudo de shimashita. It took place at the cafeteria. Party de. Party wa nanji goro owarimashita ka? So, let me dig up this one real quick, because I want to check. Do we cover goro here? No. Alright. So, goro. Right? Goro means, let's put it here. Goro. Goro means around. Right? And this is for time. So if I say nanji, right? This means what time. And if I say nanji goro, I mean around what time. Right? So this is signifying that it didn't start on time. You're asking for a rough idea when something happened. Right? So party wa. So remember, because nanji goro is not specific. Goro is not specific because nanji would have been specific because it's saying, hey, exactly what time. But goro makes it non-specific because it's saying, hey, about what time. Right? So, party wa owarimasu. Owarimasu means to end. Right? So, party wa nanji goro owarimashita ka means around what time did the party end? Right? Owarimashita. Right? And it says 10時頃終わりました. 10時. So 10 means 10. Right? 10. Right? So 10時頃. So this means around 10. 10時頃終わりました. We finish at around 10 o'clock. And that's pretty much it. Now we go to the last one. 私たちは朝もパーティーをします. So look at this stuff, right? Actually, let's have the person read it first.
私たちはあさってもパーティーをします。山田さんもどうぞ。ありがとうございます。
Okay, so it's a bit simple. So let's go here, right? 私たちはあさってもパーティーをします. Now, look here, right? It has a mo particle. Now, why are we having a particle, right? So, パーティーをします. Same action, right? This is the same action. So we're saying today is party. Tomorrow, party. next week. Party. Right? So, we're saying that we're having a line of parties. So, party o shimasu will be constant because this is the action that keeps taking place. What changes? The date. Does the people change? No. The people is constant. What changes? The date. So, the mo particle will happen before this action here. Okay? Before this action. And this signifies that this is the same action, but whatever behind is different. And here, what is different here is the date. Because asate means day after tomorrow. Okay? Asate, day after tomorrow. So, 私たち, we, 明後日もパーティーをします. We are also going to do a party the day after tomorrow. 宮村さんもどうぞ. So this is a bit contextual based, right? So we've learned どうぞ for many, many different meanings by now. You know, どうぞよろしくお願いします. You know, I'm in your care. Please, you know, and whatnot. Or please come in. In this case, when we say 山田さんもどうぞ, right? So the どうぞ in this part, we're going to focus on どうぞ. The more we understand that saying you're also invited to come. So the どうぞ in this case, instead of saying, hey, please come in, hey, you're welcome to come to our party, right? It's a somewhat formal invitation. どうぞ has many, many different meanings for this case, right? And in this specific context, we're saying, hey, you're welcome to come. So 山田さんもどうぞ. Hey, I'm having a party next week. You're welcome. You are welcome to. You're invited. You are welcome to come over, right? So this is what the gesture is. And the Yamada, understanding that this is an invitation, says, "Arigato gozaimasu." Thank you very much, right? And so yeah, that's pretty much all for chapter 3. We've covered quite a little bit. Well, let's look at this list here one more time, right? We've covered quite a lot of it actually. So we've covered verbs already, which is pretty much the highlight of the whole thing, right? We also covered past tense before, right? And this part here refers to something happened in the past, right? Because if you're asking a question that happened yesterday, it's obviously the past, right? We've also learned how to use the day particle with which means where it happens. We've also learned this one, right? 3-7 here, I didn't cover it in grammar specifically, but we've read through it. What it's saying basically is basically you're learning how to use time with a place, right? I've covered this too, the mo particle, and then this one here we've touched it, which was see asate mo nani nani o shimasu, right? We've covered basically everything. We've also covered soshite in the previous chapter. We've covered the no shortening. And so yeah, this covers the entire of chapter 3. We are officially done and we're going to move to chapter 4 in the next session. So yeah, thank you very much everybody for watching and we shall see you in, I believe this will be called chapter 7. So yeah, thank you very much.